We share our photos and our videos on the internet all the time, on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and sometimes we throw in a thirst trap or two. But what happens when our images get stolen?
Yeah, what's up for a nightcap? Chill, you know, kick back.
Well, welcome to the Nightcap. It's your girl, Carolina Sanchez, and I actually have a victim who had her images stolen and used very inappropriately. It's my girl, Kara McGilvray, and you have quite a story.
Sure do.
All right, so what exactly happened to you?
Okay, so it's a normal day. You wake up, you brush your teeth, check your Instagram. Turns out, I had all these messages, like an influx of like all these people being like, "Is this you? Is this you? Is this you?" And I'm like, "What?" And then it was like all these like this fake account, this Instagram account, advertising it wasn't OnlyFans, it was like an off-brand of OnlyFans, whichever. We're not gonna market out that whatever website it was.
That's right.
Yeah,
it's one of those
yes.
salacious ones.
Yeah, an off-brand one. But essentially, it had my Instagram name, my same picture, and then started following everyone that I followed. So I'm having every one of my friends and followers like reaching out to me, "Is this you? Is this you?" And I'm like, embarrassment. And then like, what do I do? And then I went to the Instagram.
And actually,
it went to the link. It went to the link, and it was this OnlyFans type of account, and it was been active for like 8 months or something like that, and they had been making money on my face in advertisement. Yeah, and then there's
more than
the
1,000.
dildos and vibrators in the background, and and yeah, I called my mom.
as one would do.
Called my mom. I sent her all those pictures of like, this is what's happening to me. And then immediately she starts hysterically laughing.
What?
I know, hysterically laughing. And then it's just like, well, it's kind of a compliment. But like, yeah, like, oh.
Mom!
Okay, well, I'm embarrassed. And so I just did a post. It's not me. But the thing is, like, I had all my friends, like, we were able to get the Instagram account deactivated. But what do you do about this active OnlyFans account with your name and your pictures using your face to advertise for sex videos? Like, what do you do?
So what kind of photos were they taking?
It's just literally, y'all saw, it's just like my profile pictures or just like any bikini pictures or anything. There were a few other ones. But like I ended up taking down all my bikini pics. I was just like,
you took them down,
traumatized. Yeah. I'm like, I don't know who's gonna steal my stuff. Like next time.
So you've taken down the Instagram account.
No, no, the other one's been deactivated. I still have my original one.
Your original one. Your personal one, the one
that's mine.
Created. As far as the two OnlyFans and the Rebrandly or whatever it's called.
Yeah. I think it was like
what was done with those? Are those still active and open?
No, so the Instagram, I don't about the website. I'm not sure. Like, we want to get to a point where what can we do? Because I didn't know what to do. Like, I was like, I can call Better Business Bureau. I don't know. You tell me. Let's figure it out.
Actually, we're gonna have a lawyer come on so we can have some answers to that. So the only recourse you've taken is to have the Instagram deactivated. As far as the other things, you had no power.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow. So how do you move differently? Do you move differently on the internet?
What do you mean?
Like, do you not post any bikini pictures at this point? Do you not post yourself
I wasn't
partying?
posting a lot of stuff anyway. That was a 2020 thirst trap.
I got you.
I was in a relationship at the time when the fake only count, the fake thing was happening. I think everyone who knows me knows that wasn't me.
You.
Yeah, immediately everyone was like, "This isn't you. This isn't you. This is." Or it was like half and half. Like some people were like, "Is this you?" Yeah. And then they're like, "I'm like, no," and they're like, "You're lying. We're subscribing."
Oh my God. So I mean, and now with technology advancing so quickly, with AI and the deep fakes, like eventually they probably could put your face on that. Like that is scary.
What's up for grabs?
Yeah. Obviously, your mom finds it hysterical, but do your friends now?
Oh, it's still, it's a funny story. Oh, do they move it? No, I don't think it like I mean.
So no one,
it's like,
no one's changing their habits.
No, I mean.
You don't feel like it's hurt or tainted you in any way that this happened?
At first it did. I mean, this happened like 5 months ago. I think it does like somewhat like affect like, you know, who knows who's, I took down a bunch of pictures that were like sexier or promiscuous or something, but like I'm not wanting to put myself out there like that anyway. But it's the fact that it was made and then
advertised as you. All right, well, we need to get those answers of what you can do about those OnlyFans pages. So coming up next, we actually have an intellectual property attorney who's joining us to discuss. Stay right there. Welcome back to the Nightcap. We've been talking about a case of stolen identity that's gone too far and gone to an off-brand OnlyFans. The audacity, they couldn't even make it on a real OnlyFans account. We've been talking to the victim, Kara McGilvray, and now we're joined with intellectual property attorney Nadia Akawi. And you heard her case. She had her photos taken from her Instagram, a whole new Instagram created that was advertising off-brand OnlyFans pages. What could she have done, if anything?
We're going to start out, this is just for educational and informational purposes only.
Absolutely,
okay? So make sure you get an attorney, as all the facts are different. However, I think you started off correctly, right? You contacted Instagram and you informed them that, hey, there's been, content that's been stolen, and that's what we call like a DMCA takedown notice, right? So you could do that with like a third party, whether it's an OnlyFans or any other platform in which you see your image. You just contact them and you let them know that you're the copyright holder. The copyright holder is the person that took the photograph. And so you are the copyright holder in this instance, and you would let them know that, hey, listen, like my copyright has been infringed upon and it is now on another platform, and it is up to them to go and take it down. And you can also contact other service providers, right? Like it could be like Google, like a search platform, not just the Instagram. Anything that.
I was gonna say, was that just for the Instagram? Or was that for the website?
For both, you could contact the website. You could contact.
The Instagram was easy to take down. What's the steps for the?
Yeah, so if it's like, let's say, for instance, if the website domain is hosted by GoDaddy, you would contact GoDaddy and have them pull it from the website, right? And so even if it's like in a search engine, if you're able to search the image, you would contact Google, and you can also do what's called like a reverse image search.
Yeah. Where
you put your image in and you can see where your photo is being used. And so that's something a lot of people don't know. And so that way, you could go and determine like who is using your copyright, who's using your photo without your consent, the unauthorized use of your name, image, and likeness.
For an instance like Kara's, where Instagram was being used, her actual images, but the videos that were used weren't of her likeness, even though they were advertising it as her. Is there any action she could take for those videos to be taken down?
Yeah, and I think with civil claims, right? It's more civil claims. Not only can she take the videos down, the videos are not of her, so technically she's not the copyright holder of those videos, because they're just using her face to false advertise, like to mislead the public,
to watch
right?
The video.
Yeah, to get them to subscribe and to, for commercial gain, and that's exactly what's happening, and it's very, very common. I know a lot of high school girls are now being victims, to these perpetrators.
Terrible.
But the other concern is that a lot of times they're overseas, right? The perpetrators overseas. Now we have jurisdiction issues, right? So like, can we sue them? Like, and then a lot of times you can't, because we're crossing, right? There's extradition issues, right? Exactly.
Wow. So what about like sex? Because people are exchanging nudes left and right these days.
Revenge porn.
And revenge porn.
Yep. That's a claim too. Like if it's a revenge porn, like let's say the opposite happens, right? And somebody takes something from like, let's say an OnlyFans or, a nude video, and they post it or they share it with somebody else. That could be revenge porn, but keep in mind that this is like a state claim, and it varies by state. And so there are federal claims and there's state claims, and you just want to make sure that, you're exercising every opportunity available to you under the law, right? So like something might fall under copyright, something might fall under trademark law. We might be able to get statutory damages for you, and then if you have your logo in the back, maybe we can get trademark infringement, right? Because they're using your logo or your name or your likeness without your permission. And if you're a photographer or a model, sometimes your name is trademarked, like think about Kylie Jenner, like Kylie for cosmetics, like that's, that's one of the ways in which she protects her brand. And so you want to protect your name, your image, your likeness, and that comes into right of publicity, right? So there's a whole variety of different claims that
I have a question.
Sure.
Would you say that the whatever the fake only accounts, it's like whatever the name was, are they liable at all for any, since it is like a stolen property on their company
for the
site?
video. If they don't, sometimes people go after them if they don't do anything, right? But a lot of times they have a disclaimer in there. As long as they do their due diligence, usually they're covered.
Yeah, and I couldn't without subscribing. I couldn't even get to any of it without subscribing. I'm like, I'm not subscribing to this.
Listen, just trademark your name, copyright your name.
Apparently so.
Get it all done and get your royalties, because there's money you can get.
You just want to make sure that you're protecting yourself, protecting your brand, protecting your services, and of course, like you can always do the reverse image, and see where your image is being used for commercial gain. And then go register that image. That's a little tip.
I didn't even
know. Don't tell anybody. It's a little
I
tip.
I didn't know until it happened. Yeah, you don't really think about it until it actually happens to you.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Listen, if it happens to you, now you know what to do.
Exactly.
But the conversation continues, so stay right there. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the Nightcap. We've been discussing different cases of stolen identity. We just heard about a case with photos being stolen for OnlyFans promotions, and we had the lawyer discuss. But now we have a different case with a woman whose husband stole her identity. So joining me now is Denise Johnson. Hi, Denise. Thank you for joining us.
Hi, Carolina. Thanks for having me.
So your husband stole your identity? Is that right?
Yes, he did. He stole one of my vehicles and forged my signature in not one state, but 2 states, faking as though he was me, selling the vehicle and then accepting funds on my behalf.
Okay, all right, let's unpack this a little bit. Okay, so your husband, so you guys are still married, right?
Yes, we're still legally married, but we have been separated for 3 years. So don't live together, don't live in the same state, nothing.
So y'all don't even like each other, and y'all going through. Are you currently going through divorce right now?
Yes.
Got you.
Ongoing litigation for 3 years, 3.5 years now.
Your vehicle, was it under your name? Was it under both of your names?
No. So the vehicle was solely in my name. It was a Rolls Royce. We live in a place where, I keep all of our cars downstairs in like a garage, and we have a concierge service. So he took it upon himself to grab the spare key from concierge. He put fake plates on it. Went to Alabama, forged my signature on a power of attorney, then had a fake notary notarize it. And then once the dealership, McLaren Charlotte, because I guess that's where he was going to sell it, found out that the vehicle was actually stolen, they were like, no, we need actual, documentation showing that she gave you power of attorney. So he reforged my signature and got another fake notary in North Carolina, sold my vehicle in North Carolina, and then accepted money on my behalf. I mean, the bill of sale has like a written name instead of it being typed. Everything is just fraudulent. So there was forgery, mail fraud, wire fraud, and theft. But because we live in the state of Texas and everything is presumed community, there's like muddy waters, when it comes to theft on a spousal situation. So allegedly I should be able to go to the bank, forge his signature and take money as well.
Like, oh, okay, you sold it. Let me just go forge your signature and get that money right back.
No, you know what? It sounds so good. It sounds so good, but for some reason, I don't know if we're playing favorites or if there's, sexism or it's the law or what, but it's just tricky waters because I'm just like, what if I was to do that? I feel like I would be in handcuffs by Friday. I just
and you're like, why isn't he in handcuffs by Friday, right?
Exactly.
So how did you come to find out and actually mark your vehicle as stolen?
Right. So the first people that contacted me were the concierge downstairs. Then I got my attorneys involved because obviously we've been going through ongoing litigation for so many years that I don't really have contact with him like that outside of court. And so they brought him to Dallas because he doesn't live in Dallas to do like a deposition where they asked him a ton of questions. Like, was the car titled in your name? No. Okay. Did you sign her name? Yes. Okay. Did you accept funds on her behalf? Yes. Okay. it was just really interesting. And it's just like, there are no consequences in the state of Texas for
something.
Wait,
so he's admitting to all this during 100%. A deposition and there were no consequences had?
No consequences whatsoever.
Wow.
Been interesting. It has been. And so now we are looking to see if he's been opening credit cards, if he's, because it's full on theft at this point. There are several power of attorneys notarized with my signature on them when I've never been in any of these states. And so it's just really getting scary. So what I've done is I report to the mail, then you report identity theft. And then there's like different like tabs that you can report your identity stolen on the FBI's website. There are like official FBI, IRS, all of the different websites associated with your identity. You can report your identity stolen. I'm thinking they have a really big stack of paper at the FBI. So I don't know that they're just like,
they're like, oh, anytime Denise Johnson's name's gonna sign, we're gonna flag it.
Yeah, we're on it.
It's probably not happening. Okay, but this is very scary. So actually, I really want to bring in a lawyer to really discuss this and unpack this communal thing with Texas. And since this is cross state lines, if that makes any difference, because I mean, what's to say my husband won't do this? All right, so we'll be right back. Welcome back to the Nightcap. We've been discussing different cases of stolen identity, and we just heard about this crazy case about a husband who stole his wife's identity to sell her car fraudulently. So I have with me Brittany Sterling. You're a family lawyer.
Yes.
You practice family law. You just heard Denise's case. What do you think about all this?
I think it's crazy, but it's not uncommon, surprisingly. So in the state of Texas, a spouse has the right to dispose of community property, but it has to be within a reasonable manner and in the absence of fraud. So this situation, what Denise is going through, it definitely constitutes as fraud. So there are two different types of fraud. There's actual fraud and constructive fraud. This is a textbook case of actual fraud, where the primary purpose is that one spouse wants to take community funds or community property for the primary purpose of depriving the other spouse of it. And the best example would be to forge their spouse's signature on documents so that they can transfer property or funds. So this is exactly what she is going through.
This is textbook.
Textbook, yes.
So is there anything, Denise, that Denise can get? Is there any consequences that can be had?
Of course.
Or is there no hope?
So, well, in the divorce proceedings, if she can prove that he did actually commit actual fraud, she can ask for a waste claim, which means that the judge will make her spouse reconstitute the community and make it equal to what the value was before he defrauded it. And then she can ask for a disproportionate share of the community estate, where she gets more than 50% of their entire pot of community assets.
I mean, is this bad enough that he could be sent to jail? Or?
That's a terrible part of it, but from a family law perspective, it's all about the money, and so the best thing she can do is to prove the fraud, prove that this is a forged signature, get handwriting experts, and ask that she be awarded a more significant portion of the estate than he is.
Denise, is this something that you're going through? What have you sought in this case?
Yeah, so there were temporary orders already in place saying that he was not allowed to move any money, and that I personally had exclusive use to my own car that was titled in my name. So he's already in family law. He's already been in contempt 5 times. There's a warrant out for his arrest. There's sanctions, depositions, you name it. I mean, it's been a mess. And so as far as the vehicle goes, it's been to no avail.
And do you have all the documents to prove the fraud?
Yes. So when I went to my attorneys and the police station, I basically showed them all of the toll tags showing that I was in the state of Texas and that I did not leave, and then I also showed them my phone records, my bank records, all of my flights, and then also my signatures, like, how you have a bank card signature and stuff like that. So used all of that to compare that was not my signature. And then also we had private investigators show that those notaries were actually not real or expired. So all of it actually does prove that there is fraud involved.
I would predict that because he's been in contempt of quite a few times, that it is going to be severe. I think they're going to divide the estate disproportionately. I think they're going to be pretty hard with that. Also, I think that they're going to make him pay her attorney's fees. That would be my prediction.
So, I mean, you say this is so common. Is there any way to actually prevent this? Like, how do I stop? If me and my husband start going through a divorce right now, how do I stop him from selling our assets and doing all the fraudulent things that Denise's husband appears to be doing?
It really shouldn't have happened in the first place, because forging someone's signature, you can't do anything about that. Don't get married. That's my advice. Don't get married. Know who you are marrying, because think about your spouse has information like your social security number. He has access to information that normal people or just random people won't have. So it's easier for them to defraud your community estate because they have countless numbers of paper around your house with your signature on it. And you never think that it's going to be your spouse, but that's the sad part.
But you never know. You never know. Denise, thank you so much for sharing your story with us. I really hope for a speedy case. You get through this and you get, the disproportionate amount that you deserve.
You will.
Brittany says you will.
Speak it, girl.
Brittany, thank you so much for your expertise. I mean, this is a very scary thing. People are married every day, and you never know. I feel like you never really know somebody, even if you're married to them for decades.
Yeah.
All right, well, thank you so much for joining us on this conversation. Protect your identity in whatever ways you can, even if it means don't get married. All right. Cheers to y'all, and we'll see you next time.